All right, guys, welcome back here to Kings of the Storm 5. Sorry for the delayed return, but we're figuring out our next game here.
Yep. Figuring it out. We got it.
Oh, we got it?
It is the newly acquired Tempo Storm, formerly Symbiote Gaming, versus Barrel Boys, who took, I think, a 2-0 victory over Glorious Gaming. So, congrats to them. They moved on to the semifinals here versus Tempo Storm in this winner's bracket of Kings of the Storm 5. Should be an exciting series. Barrel Boys have been picking up quite a bit of steam in these, especially this past month or so, and they're looking very, very strong. So I'm sure that they've got a lot of wacky strategies and stuff to throw at SMG to see how they want to deal with it. It's going to be good stuff.
It is going to be exciting to see, what they have here. Of course, we did not see either of these teams yesterday in the ESL event, and that means they're here to show us
already
what
qualified,
is good.
of course. So, yeah. Just pretty excited to see what Barrel Boys is going to bring to SMG here. Jeez, not even used to it. Tempo Storm, excuse me.
Yeah, but we got to get used. It's going to take some time, admittedly. Like there's no question that it's going to take us a little while to get used to saying Tempo Storm. We're getting the production ready, getting the lobby ready for you guys.
Yeah, actually, our first game is going to be on Dragonshire. Dargan, excuse me. Yes, Arthon is in the game here. We do need to call it its appropriate name. It is Darganshire, as he likes to call it.
And actually, we get to unveil 2 new logos here, as I ruined my entire overlay
Rip
right
production
now.
here.
So getting that set up, Kubi, are the players ready?
As far as I know, they are ready. I will give them the go-ahead to begin drafting.
The joy of casting and producing at the same time.
Yeah, it's it can be a tricky deal sometimes. Yeah. All right, so yeah, we are on Dragonshire, and let's see. I actually we haven't casted SMG. It feels like a long time. Sorry,
it does seem that way.
Once again, yeah, it was probably last Saturday actually that we casted any of their games. So not really quite sure in terms of what they're doing lately in terms of ban strategies and stuff. But we do see that first ban out of Tempo Storm, and it is Tassadar.
Okay, we're gonna get that rolling here for you guys in just one second.
They have in the past they've pretty highly value Tassadar, and we've seen them ban out Tassadar quite a few times. So, okay, I see. Barrel Boys is actually letting us know that they have some AFK members, so we may have a bit of a pause here.
Okay. Yeah, they just want to make sure the full team is there to discuss the draft. They don't want to start the discussions and then have an argument afterwards. You can't blame them for that.
Yep. Jake, you know what I had for breakfast today?
What did you have for breakfast?
I had a cookie dough donut.
Oh.
You ever heard of that before? Cookie dough donut.
I hadn't, but you bought me one.
Yeah, that's true. It was a cheating question. I did buy you one. What'd you think of it? Cookie dough donut.
I took about 2 bites and I said, "This is really sweet." And
it
I
is
put it on hold. Now, Kubi, of course, the gentleman that he is. Just for the stream, you guys love the bromance. Well, it was a heart-shaped donut.
Oh, God.
It was a heart-shaped
donut. Yeah, by coincidence, it was a heart-shaped donut. I needed to know what the cookie dough donut tasted like. And, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed. You know when you go to the store and you buy a roll of cookie dough, and it's just delicious, right? You just eat it, right, because it's just delicious. You don't even cook the cookies. You don't bake them. You just get cookie dough. Did I say something ridiculous about it?
I mean, you're just implying that you go to the store to buy a roll of cookie dough. Just eat a roll of cookie dough.
What's wrong with that? Everyone does that.
I've never done that.
What do you mean you never do that? Everyone does it. No, you're a liar. Don't lie to me. You lie to the stream. Don't do that. Everyone does that. Chat will agree. Everyone's done it once. They go to the store and buy a roll of cookie dough, and they just eat the cookie dough. Totally a thing people do. Sometimes you just got that sweet tooth that you just you can't quelch it. It just needs more.
Look at this filth. This
what?
This is
okay. No. I was getting to my point. When you go to the store and you get a cookie dough roll of cookie dough, it tastes like it's got a certain texture to it. It has like this almost like crispy crunchiness to it, and like that is some kind of filling that it kind of tastes like cookie dough. I'm not sure I agree with it.
10 out of 10 would not eat again.
I bought that.
A kind gesture.
A kind gesture tossed away to the dumpster.
To the dumpster. Dumpster tier.
All right, enough rambling here. We got everyone back. They are going through the ban process. So we did have that first ban out of Tempo Storm on Tassadar, and Barrel Boys is going to follow that up with a Stitches ban. No surprise there. And then our first pick up on Kerrigan. What is going on with these teams lately? They're super valuing Kerrigan. Okay, no surprise. I shouldn't get so excited. Glaurung, one of the innovators of the Kerrigan. So oftentimes we would see teams previously, back when he was on Glorious, even they would ban out Kerrigan, sometimes Zeratul against him, just because he's very strong on these heroes. So
he is, and seeing Glout pick him up, I mean, we've seen Maelstrom ban out Kerrigan almost every game for a reason. She is a playmaker, and although I mean she might not seem like she does a ton of damage on the surface, she is about those primal grass, setting up these terrifying situations. And we're looking at it right here. We see they pick up Nazeebo and Uther. Already, now you have Zombie Wall that can lock you down. You have Divine Storm that can lock you down. You have Kerrigan stuns. And the Ravenous Spirit is... You have to worry about Kerrigan in the front line and the Ravenous Spirit in the back line, and it's just scary.
Yeah, and nothing in terms of what they've picked up already is going to really help them deal with that, sure. The grenade is okay, and yeah, Rain of Vengeance can be okay at dealing with Nazeebo, but you have to get those... those ranged DPS is a little bit too close for comfort just to deal with that one heroic. They're going to die if they try to go in and do that, unless the positioning is really bad from the Nazeebo, which, I don't expect that either, Arthalon or KO is going to be positioning too closely for that situation. So they're going to need something else to deal with Nazeebo.
They are. Now, the false father, the false dad, the bird with the mighty duck powers, he is, of course, an option here. That's also good for... It's good for disengaging in general. It'll just blow Kerrigan away. It'll blow everything away, and it will blow out that Ravenous Spirit. So that's an option on the table, but they already have Tychus and Vala. So they need to make sure they have that front line. Arthas, of course, still a viable option, and they do not want to give Arthas up here. Like, that's... You give Arthas Kerrigan and Curse Hollow to SMG, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oof.
I feel like he's the guaranteed pickup here for Barrel Boys, but what else do they go with?
Yeah, and then, I mean, so if they weren't playing against Maelstrom, which they're not, I would say, hey, you can save your support pick for last because they've already grabbed the Uther. It's still something to consider that they could try to zone you out from grabbing Brightwing. I don't think that's going to happen, so they probably can wait to pick up Brightwing if that's what they really want to go for. So we're basically going to be looking at them grabbing Arthas and then another damage dealer. Okay, in this case, it's going to be Zeratul.
All right, so yeah, there's the Arthas, like we mentioned, and Zeratul. And, I like that. I like to pick up on Zeratul, the disengage if they need it to save members, and that also allows you to set up for big stuff. You throw that down, you pop the Odin, you get ready for the aggression. It can stall time for Arthas with Army of the Dead, heal back on up, and just... Aggressive Zeratools blowing up a Nazeebo is a scary thing.
Sure, but they still don't have a very good solution.
Okay. Malfurion in ETC.
How do you feel about that particular combo, just those two heroes
Double
together?
support in general. Like, they're going to
yeah. Jeez, didn't even... That completely went past me. Okay, the Malf. What is the craziness here? I mean, they do have a lot of stuns and roots available to them. They got ETC controlling, Kerrigan, Uther, Malfurion, like all those. They have nice AoE roots to secure a lot of time for that Ravenous Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Doing damage.
We're seeing Arthalon playing Malf. Already, it's going to be not healing. This is not going to be a healing Malfurion. This is going to be a pseudo-man build. We're going to see a Loon's Grace. We're going to see increased duration on the roots, probably rewind for double roots, and almost definitely we're going to see Tranquility, or Twilight Dream.
That's really cool to think about. I really want to see this. And they have to go Brightwing at this point. There's really no other option.
They don't have a choice. They have to get... I mean, Brightwing is a guaranteed right here.
And this is actually really scary for Barrel Boys here.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what they pick at this point. I was thinking like, oh man, they really need to go Falstad for Mighty Gus at this point, but they can't. They need a healer, and they got outdrafted here.
It seems that way. I mean, there is a ton of damage potential on the side of Barrel Boys, and if they can manage to blow up like those primary targets like Nazeebo, it's going to be very difficult because Malf can go with at level 4. I think we'll see the pseudo support style. I think we'll see the healing ward, or maybe the protective shield if that's what they want. They want the burst healing for Kerrigan, like the protective shield supplies that. Malfurion's going to have a lot of healing no matter what, but still, I mean, when you have the options like I said, Elun's Grace, I don't know if we'll see a full root build. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, but now's the time to see it, of course, because we do have that double here. God, there's just so much lockdown for Tempo Storm here.
It's scary. Tempo Storm's going to be so hard to get used to saying.
I know,
I'm
right?
excited, though. I just want to say a big welcome here to Tempo Storm on entering Heroes of the Storm as their second game. They're primarily a Hearthstone team started by Reynad, and Frodan is also a big part of that team. They now have picked up SMG, and they have our good friend Zoya, who's casting over on Twitch.tv as Zoya TV right now as part of their management for team here. But very exciting stuff having them on board, and this is a cool draft. The Brightwing that we mentioned, very obvious. There it is. And both teams seem to be ready.
Yeah, we're getting the go-ahead from them. Just Tempo Storm is good to go. We're waiting on the ready from Barrel Boys, and we will get right into this game.
Oh, it says Cursed Hollow on my graphic. I'm actually the worst.
Oh,
it is Dragonshire. So yeah, that was.
Whoops, whoops, boys.
Apologies there. Glaring actually messaged me. I guess he like someone must have gave him word that it says. Dragon on the screen, so thank you, Glaurung. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and correcting those things. Now, of course, this will in fact be the first game of this best of one series. Kubi, which you said you like the SMG draft, even the double support with ETC. You liking it better?
Yeah, definitely.
Just the crazy lockdown.
I mean, they don't even have. I mean, other than polymorph, they don't have. There's gonna be so much work for Brightwing to do here, just to deal with everything that's on Tempo Storm's side. They have to deal with the Ravenous Spirit. They have to worry about the dance. Like, just splitting the attention of the Brightwing between those two heroes is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And just like all they have to do is keep those two heroes apart. Like, as long as they're not getting picked off by Zeratul, it's going to be so difficult for Barrel Boys to take a fight.
Yeah. I think we'll see Reign of Vengeance here. I don't think McIntyre has a choice. I think he has to go Reign, honestly.
Just to provide that extra support to even deal with ETC. And, like, again, just the threat of dance is, like, almost more than enough. Like, people have to save their, like, heroics. Just so, yeah, I would absolutely give up not ever using dance just to make sure that Vala doesn't have a heroic. That's a great trade-off in itself because ETC already has a ton of stuns and disengages and everything on his base kit. Then on top of that, you have all these other lockdowns. You have Divine Storm, which is instant cast. You have the double root switch can happen at 13 from Malfurion. Everything's pointing to a ton of lockdown. Really nice stuff that's just going to be basically a playground for Ravenous Spirit to do his work.
Now, so big shout out to everyone watching live right now. Before we introduce the teams, Mr. CS Steve is in fact raffling keys. So if you're watching mobile and not reading the chat, you actually have a chance to win a key if you partake in the raffles here.
Absolutely.
So keep your eyes on that. And Kubi, on that note.
Yes. All right, let's introduce the teams on the blue side. The newly acquired Tempo Storm. We have Glaurung on Kerrigan. Dreadnought's going to be playing Uther. Arthalon on Malfurion. Soldier's going to be rocking the ETC. And KO on Nazebo.
On the other half of the map, we do have the Barrel Boys here. Look at that new logo. Oh, it's actually a barrel with Chen's face on it. I love it. Well, McIntyre will be playing as Vala. We see that Arthas can be played by Fury himself. It's going to be Blinks on Brightwing. Is he going to get the blink heal? We're going to have Trummel on Tychus, and last but not least, Zeratul will be played by Fan.
Chat, please don't let him pull these puns all the time, unpunished.
Puns unpunished.
Ah! No.
Well, we have this, this four-man squad in the middle of the map, and just every single hero, Roots, Army of the Dead, Stun, Primal Grasp, and Stun. Like, just so much lockdown. All four of them have something to lock them down, and ETC has a stun and a knockback.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying. It's just flat out terrifying.
I don't know how else to put it. Like, I would not want to face this team.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of these talents that were picked up at level 1. The one big one that's jumping out at me is the Siphoning Arrow for McIntyre. No extra range on the multi-shot there. No Rancor for the extra auto attack upgrade. It's Siphoning Arrow. This is, I mean, that's basically, it's extra. It's kind of like a slight burst heal for Vala if she hits all, like the same target, or I guess even if it splits to other targets, she's still getting a lot of HP back.
She gets a lot of health.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much that plays into her surviving in situations where she probably shouldn't get away.
It's definitely an uncommon pick. Typically, we would either see the upgrade for the auto attack or the multi-shot increased range. But, it's definitely not a bad pickup. I don't know that we're going to see a Hungering Arrow build, though. That's pretty uncommon.
No, probably not. I imagine that he's going to probably grab Arsenal at level 4 and Battle Momentum at level 7. That's no surprise there. So Tempo Storm actually did have control of both of those shrines, top and bottom, for just a second there. And if they manage to keep control of the two and channel that middle shrine, they get control of the Dragon Knight. They transform one of the heroes, the hero that is channeling that shrine in the middle. They get a Dragon Knight, huge HP pool, and is just really good at pushing down structures, etc. So we'll call attention from Barrel Boys if that was the case. They had picked it up there.
So the roots were used from Malfurion. Glaurung goes in, blowing up one member. The healing ward there, keeping Glau alive. I mean, double support. Dread just comes up to say, look, you're fine.
There you go.
And oh my goodness, the Moonfire stopping Fan from being able to Hearth on back. And they're just putting a ton of aggression here. I mean, we talked about this. Everyone has that lockdown, and if you can't kill Kerrigan, well, it's going to be very tough.
All right, we actually swapped hands here. It looks as though Barrel Boys does have control of both shrines here. I mean, there's a big presence mid, so I'd be really shocked if Barrel Boys was able to pick it up. And that's actually going to be a huge stun. He's poisoned right now. He's probably going to be able to get that heal off. Yes, okay.
Protective shield is there, and he's hearthing on home. If Blinks was not there with the phase shift, he would have fallen for sure. But still, forcing him to blink to hearth home.
Still, yeah, the really nice heads-up play there. Curseberry putting a little bit of pressure on Arthlon here. And yeah, I didn't even consider that, though. They had double support, so it's probably the first time I've ever seen Arthlon play support.
I mean, it's
he's
weird.
The flex player,
and
so
we're going to see a weird build out of likely. Now the roots are going
dead.
down. The roots of
zombie. Oh, he's
dead. I'm sorry. I feel bad for anyone that gets locked down like this. I mean, it's
that was a lot to try and get away from. Even Arthas, he doesn't have the HP for that.
Right, and it's a scary team right now. Now Fan going in, trying to force them back here. This first tower is getting low. Once again, we do have Barrel Boys holding this first tower.
Sure. Yeah, and we also have that quick level 7/4 Tempo Storm here. We have the you called it Loon's Grace for Malfurion there. That gives him the extra. Is it range? Yeah, it's range on everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, extra 2 range on all of his skill shots. His Moonfire, the Regrowth, the Tangling Roots, and that's going to be really nice when he gets that Rewind and he gets that Tenacious Roots at level 16. It's going to be. Yeah, it's going to have a ton of utility.
The weird deviations we might see, like this is all pretty standard stuff we're seeing out of Mouth right now. Loon's Grace has become very much more popular. Yep. Ooh, Glaurung is taking a lot of damage though. The roots going down to peel. It's just so much healing. He just turns around because he's completely topped off. It's actually quite insane. But yeah, speaking about Malfurion, what's going to be weird to see which heroic he takes. Does he opt for the Twilight?
I think the Silence.
Does he opt for the Rewind and then the increased duration on the roots? We're going to have to find out when we get to like 13 and 16. Oh my goodness, going in with the stuns here though.
You know what's actually jumping out at me that's impressive is you can tell that this team has actually practiced this strategy quite a bit in the past because when you're playing Kerrigan, you get used to a certain amount of sustain that your trait gives you, and like having one healer nearby, you know how far you can go. And it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a scuffle here over this bottom shrine.
The power of that root zoning them out there. Trummel is taking a lot of damage, but he managed to back on out. Blinks keeping Curesphere alive, giving him the Pixie Dust to dash forward, and the rotation for Fan is here. But with KO coming down, it's a 4v4, and SMG is turning around. They have so much sustain available. Dreadnought throwing down those roots, getting the stuns. They actually do lose Glaurung here, and it looks like Fan and Curesphere are going to survive.
Oh, yeah, he's alive, I think. Yeah, that was actually a pretty nice flank there from Fan in that situation, just to secure that kill on Kerrigan. But yeah, I mean, the point that I was trying to make before that fight started, you can tell that Tempo Storm has really practiced this strategy because, like I was saying, so you know roughly what you can get away with as Kerrigan because you have to jump in, and every time you hit somebody with any of your abilities, you get some shielding back. That's sort of how our trait works, right? But you get used to like how far in you can go before you need to retreat. You can see that he's sticking around way longer than he should be because he's got that double support at his back. So he's practiced that. He knows what he can get away with having double support nearby. So yeah, really impressive. Good to see that this strategy has been fleshed out by them before.
Yeah, it's a scary strat too. Now level 10 has been acquired here. We see Mails from Divine Storm. Looks like we're going to actually have Mosh Pit. Yep. It's going to be Tranquility, and it is Ravenous Spirit. I
would have been okay with either of those, I think. I mean, so Tranquility is just no one's going to die.
Yeah,
basically, especially with double healing. And I mean, Silence would have been good too. That would have really just sort of locked down the concept of no one being able to do anything about Nazebo. But I guess they're feeling confident in the situation that they have. Of course, they go with Ravenous Spirit, Divine Storm, and the Maelstrom. So all good pickups there. And we do see that Rain of Vengeance out of Vala again, as we predicted. She's going to need to use that somewhere, either to deal with ETC, and she may have waited to see if he grabbed Mosh Pit or not, whether to pick up this talent. But that does offer another stun for the team in the form of a heroic. Army of the Dead, Odin, Void Prison, and Blinkheal. All actually Blinkheal, because we were thinking maybe he had to go Emerald Wind just to deal with all the things that needed to be interrupted on their side of the team.
Yeah,
but not the case here.
But I think they also need that sustain, and Brightman needs that flexibility to get out of bad situations too. So.
Especially when you consider that she was forced to go cleanse at level 7 as well. That's some extra sustain healing that will not be available to the team.
Now, a Dragon Knight has not been taken at this point in the game. I mean, I have to say, Barrel Boys is doing a wonderful job of making sure. Yeah, they might be down in death by 1, but actually, considering how much power and like lockdown SMG has, they've only died twice. And they've picked up the 1 kill. So they're doing really well at this point, and having Heroics is going to help even things out potentially. But the sustainability on the side of SMG with all that lockdown is just utterly terrifying, and we see this big aggression in the top lane right now.
Yeah, I'm really just excited to see one of these team fights unfold, and we might actually get it here. Fan getting really aggressive.
Where is the Heroics? We see Maelstrom being used. Glaurung is very low, actually has to opt to go up. Ravenous Spirit to pick up that, and the dance is going to secure the kill on Blinks. You can't escape that. Trummel was too afraid to throw the grenade to try to interrupt that as he's running for his life right now. And SMG is going to be getting a Dragon Knight in the middle of the map right now. Dreadnought, ooh, the Howling Blast will stall it out for a bit. Trummel, very low.
They had already seen that the Rain of Vengeance went down. They caught Brightwing in the dance. It was basically up to Trummel on Tychus there just to make sure that that grenade went down to try to interrupt the Ravenous. He would have died if he tried doing that. It's just, as we mentioned before, you're putting your ranged DPS in too much of a risky situation to try to deal with the Ravenous Spirit. Wasn't going to happen. They pick up 2 kills really quick. Tempo Storm, nice job in that team fight. And
that's so scary. You can't blink out of root. Like with Fan going forward like that, if Arthlon had thrown down a root, I mean, good night, sweet prince. You're just doomed.
So yeah, nicely done. And they do pick up that Dragon Knight. They're actually doing a little bit of a split push here. We can see that Dreadnought is shoving down this bottom lane, and the rest of Tempo Storm is trying to put some pressure on this top lane. We do see the response there from Brightwing.
And while Glaurung is coming in onto Curse Fury, we see Armageddon goes down immediately. He doesn't know who else is here. The rewind is there. Curse Fury taking a lot of damage. Dragon Knight doesn't have the punt available. It looks like Dragon Breath not going to be enough, and just the Blink Heal coming in. Curse Fury is going to be just fine. Now that is one heroic that has been used. Was Maelstrom used as well? It looks like it was. And, well, you know, honestly, they did a good job defending there.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised that Arthas didn't end up falling. He got really close, but that's the power of Army of the Dead right there. You can just seemingly stay alive in crazy situations. That's why Arthas is so highly sought after by any team, really. You see him picked very early in these drafts. And we do have level 13 for both these teams as they steal this offensive. Yeah, I mean, how do you get in there? You don't get in there. Really nice. I like this play. Okay, so there's no golem on this map to steal. And we can see this starting up a team fight.
ETC is in position for a dance. The Ravenous Spirit is there. The dance could be used to help zone them out, but that Ravenous just going to town on Trummel, actually looking for McIntyre right now and not going to be able to get him. No one died in that, and the Knights were stolen successfully. Yeah. Well done by Barrel Boys.
Huge exchange of heroics on both sides there, basically 4 for 4 heroic-wise. Yeah, again, no one died. They did end up basically stealing back their own bruisers. I actually, you know, like I said, I like that play a lot because you can't do any play like that because there's no boss to steal. So that's like really the highest priority camp to steal. Now, whether you want to use your Void Prison in that situation, but it still set up a team fight for them. They had a lot of their team funneled into a small area, so you can get some good value out of Valo with Rain of Vengeance, out of Odin. So I'm okay with it.
Here. They're backing up. SMG is moving in. McIntyre almost acting like bait, but he uses the vault right there, and he's going to get locked down here. We see the root going down for the zoning, and McIntyre is going to die here for sure, but we have Barrel Boys coming back in, trying to help peel the rest of the team out of here. Do they get the lockdown? Curse Fury gets pulled in. Oh my goodness, the rooting. There's the root from Malfurion, but it actually gets knocked out by the knockback from Soldier. Actually,
a bit of a misplay there. Yeah. I mean, the root, I guess, would have had to have been a little bit further back on the side of the wall, but there's you know, just a bit of a miscommunication there. Had ETC not rooted, knocked back with his loudspeaker, so he would have probably picked up an extra kill there. That said, though, Temple Storm's still a big advantage. They're well on their way to level 16. They should be there, you know, almost 2 levels ahead of Barrel Boys, and that's going to put them in a really, really nice spot. I mean, we're looking at some nice pickups. I mean, you could get Blood for Blood on Kerrigan. You're going to get, we see Hardened Focus grabbed. Yeah.
We're looking at Shrink right now. The double, I mean, rewind there, of course, with Kerrigan. That's pretty standard stuff. Ooh, a lot of aggression on Dreadnought, healing himself up. Yeah. And then there's the Tenacious Roots as well. So just even more lockdown.
So much control. Just like everything about Malfurion's build is like, there's a little bit of healing in the beginning, but everything is, you know, it's control with this, the Elun's Grace, the Shrink Ray, the Tenacious Roots, like really nice stuff. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with this double Relentless pickup. It's absolutely needed.
It's required.
I mean, those are pretty much standard pickups for both those heroes anyway, but like it's going to shine a lot more against this composition than it would against others. And we see that Curse Fury is getting a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, a nice dodge. He pops Army of the Dead. He's getting very low. The Rain of Vengeance there to help heal for him, and he actually does manage to stay alive here. The Blink Kill keeping him alive. All the members of SMG, or excuse me, Temple Storm, walk on into that. We see the Healing Ward. We see the Tranquility, and that Ravenous Spirit has, I mean, there's no one even close to it to peel for it. Blinks is going to fall. We see Arthas fell as well, and I mean, Trummel is their next target.
Yeah, I mean, we said it before the game even started. They got outdrafted, and the big reason for that is they have no way to deal with the Ravenous Spirit. And every single fight that's gone down, we see Trummel getting blown up here once again, but like they just have nothing to deal with Ravenous Spirit. Every single team fight that's happened, Ravenous Spirit has gone off for its entire duration and has gotten complete DPS out of it. I'm sure the numbers are looking ridiculously stacked in this Evo's favor.
We can look
Actually,
at the
no, I lied.
here.
Pretty close between Kerrigan. That side, too. Kerrigan has been landing at least 2 people in every single combo as well. So no slouching there, of course, from Glaurung. But yeah, and he's getting both of those heroes are putting in overtime here. They're doing work.
I mean, Tempo Storm is just looking so terrifying with this. Every single hero has the ability to start a combo, and that's who do you look out for? Oh wait, you have to look out for the entire team at that point.
Yeah.
So there's just just kind of play super safe now. The kills have started to look in the favor of SMG. We're looking at 8-1.
Yeah,
Levels 17 to 15, and really, Barrel Boys just needs to get their level 16 talent.
They need it, yeah. I mean, that's going to be some extra sustain for Vala, Blood for Blood. We're looking at some extra survivability out of Arthas and Tychus. They're probably going to pick up Stone Skin at level 16. Zeratul, that's when he gets his big power spike with the double bombs. It's quite a bit more burst. He can blink in, double bomb, cleave, and then blink back out because he grabbed Wormhole at level 13. And then, of course, you get the Criterize. That's the extra burst as well on the Polymorph. So they really, really need to hit that level 16 before they try to initiate any other team fights. But they don't really have a choice. They have the Dragonite pushing in the top lane. The rest of the team is rotating down to the bottom. Like, you got to try to slow this down somewhere.
Yeah, and Fan, like, actually trying to fight Soldier does, like, 0 damage because of how tanky ETC is.
Yeah, I know, right?
16 has been hit, and we do see the double Stone Form, or Stone Skin, Blood for Blood, double bombs, and, of course, Criterize? Yes.
Yes. And, okay, once again, it looks... Okay, so Barrel Boys is trying to cap their own bruisers there, and Tempo Storm is well aware of what's going on here. And they're actually... No, these are ours. Yeah. We're 2 levels ahead. You actually can't contest us right now, so...
Pulling them out. Now, all the heroics in the game are available.
Yeah.
And Tempo Storm can opt to get aggressive, but it's like an unnecessary risk when you have a lead like this.
Yeah. I mean, they have huge map control. They're just going to back up. They're going to take their Giants and just continue to hold map control. I don't know how much time is left on the bottom bruisers. They're rotating down there, so that might indicate, yeah, okay, so there's another 30 seconds left. So they may just play a little bit passively, push out with these Giants a little bit. They'll probably secure this fort with these next 2 mercenary camps that gets taken here.
Trummel is trying to keep this fort alive, throwing that grenade out to hit the minions and the members there, Soldier and Arthalon. Look how low that fort is. It's sitting at 50 HP. 1 smack will take it out.
Yeah.
And they want to try to keep this alive while they can.
Yeah, they're probably just going to push out for the duration of these Giants, and then when the fight's done, they're going to back up and take bruisers and push again. So
what do they do here? They look for a big VP? Like, it's so hard to like tell like what the right way to initiate on.
The problem with the big VP is even if you catch a lot of people in the team, it's not like they have a huge amount of burst. Really, the best that they can set up for after the VP is a nice Rain of Vengeance, and then hope that your Tychus is in Odin, you know, dealing a little bit of damage. But nothing is. Everything they have is just like a lot of sustained single target damage between Vala and Tychus at this point. You know, Zeratul, of course, can blink onto people and then, you know, throw down his combo, but that's, again, all single target damage. They really need to focus on some way to try to isolate members of SMG, pick them off, and then take team fights from there. And that's so I guess the best that they can hope for is to try to isolate members with VP, just try to, you know, zone out maybe 2 or 3 people, and then do their best to isolate 1 person and just kill them. That's the best they can hope for. Level 20 is quickly approaching for Tempo Storm here, and that's going to be a lot more mobility for heroes, especially like ETC. I imagine he's going to grab Bolt of the Storm here. That lets him instantaneously jump a huge distance, something like 1/3 of the screen that you guys can see here, and then hop over, immediately start dance up. It gets way scarier. The positioning that Barrel Boys is going to have to take after they hit level 20, it gets a lot different, and it's a lot harder to deal with. And on top of that, you have Kerrigan with Blink. You have Uther's probably going to grab that extra range on Divine Storm. It gets a lot scarier.
Okay, that's a big VP, and that's actually a really nice Rain of Vengeance. They actually managed
to
pick up Arthalon, and that's what they need. But this Ravenous Spirit is just going to town. Trummel switching his focus, but he can't interrupt it. It's still just eliminating so many people. The dance goes in. McIntyre getting very low. We see KO just fighting Trummel like with confidence, and Glaurung's going in. Yeah, Glaurung has the heal from the well. The heal comes out from Dreadnought. They're going to manage to pick up the kill as well.
This composition is ridiculous. Glaurung's like, he absolutely should have died there. I mean, that was exactly the scenario that we had painted like just 2 minutes ago. Like, how do they come back in this game? Okay, they need to isolate someone. I guess it wasn't enough because Glaurung just doesn't die between the shields and the double support.
Arthalon wasn't even alive. It wasn't even a factor. He was able to stay alive through that. It's just
I'm completely okay with Barrel Boys getting really aggressive at that point. That was just before they hit level 20.
They
needed to try to contest against Tempo Storm there before they hit level 20, but just, well, you know, it wasn't enough. Storm Shield going down, keeping KO alive. If he gets out of this situation, it's going to be ridiculous. Has absolutely no right living. Okay, yeah, he dies there. But, I mean, it's too late. It's too late. They have the Dragon Knight. They still have, you know, another 2 members pushing on the score. That's going to be GG. Game number 1 is going to go to Temple Storm. Congrats to them. And we're going to have to see what Barrel Boys is going to do. They got to go back to the drawing board. And I don't know if they're going to try to run this strategy again, but this was out of left field from Temple Storm. I've never seen anything like this before. And it was really cool to see how they initiated all those team fights.
I don't know what to tell Barrel Boys to do. They played really well. I mean, they were going toe-to-toe. They weren't losing people. They were playing safe, make sure they didn't get ganked. But, like, they just didn't have, like, that necessary combo to stop stuff.
I think grabbing Zeratul was
a mistake.
Yeah, I think they should have gone false side and Mighty Gust.
I think Thrall would have worked better, too. With
Thrall could have worked with Sundering. Actually, yeah, that's probably the safer bet, just to make sure you still get at least some of that DPS. Thrall would have been a good call there. They needed something to deal with Ravenous, and they needed something to deal with, like, you know, the ETC Kerrigan that's always in your face.
Yeah.
And either, you know, blasting those guys back with Mighty Gust, as crazy as that sounds, or Sundering too, just to disrupt them, to stun them, to knock them out. Something. I think that the Void Prisons didn't really end up paying off as well as they hoped they would.
Right. And, I mean, you could say, okay, Thrall, that's a bad choice, because destroy him, they'd have to go that weird style we've seen with Chain Lightning style. A little bit more of like the range support, and then you just kind of go in at that last moment and you try to blow someone up. Right. But Zeratul, I mean, it's not like it lost them the game by any means.
He wasn't playing bad.
Right,
it was just that the rest of the team comp wasn't really built around capitalizing on Void Prisons. We saw that one situation right next to the Dragon Shrine there just before Temple Storm hit level 20. But, you know, they blew someone up really fast, but still wasn't enough. Kerrigan, ETC just getting too much value in that team fight. Ravenous Spirit going to town. And, you know, they had the right situation, but it just kind of seems like the rest of the team comp wasn't really built around dealing with that. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, Temple Storm looking super strong here. I mean, congrats to them on their win for Game 1, but the series is not over.
That's true.
We're going to get ready for Game number 2, guys, so stay with us. We will be back in just a couple minutes.